All right, so the study I chose was the correlation between physical activity and psychological resilience in young students, a systematic review and meta-analysis. This is for phase 4, factors that influence physical activity, and I chose psychological youth. Authors affiliations, the College of Physical Education and Sports, Beijing Normal University, Beijing, China. College of Education for the Future, Beijing Normal University, Zhuhai, China, and then College of Physical Education, Shangrao Normal University, Shangrao, China. All right, so for the introduction, for the overview, the study investigates the association between physical activity and psychological resilience among young students aged 12 to 25, against a backstop of increasing mental health challenges in youth, such as anxiety, depression, academic pressure. The author highlights the importance of resilience as a key psychological defense factor. Physical activity is proposed as a modifiable lifestyle behavior that can help strengthen resilience and improve mental health. For the statement of purpose, the study aims to systematically review the relationship between physical activity and psychological resilience in young students, to quantify the strength of their correlation, examine contributing such influencing factors, and explore the mechanisms through which physical activity enhances resilience. The ultimate purpose is to encourage greater physical activity um, participation to improve mental health resilience in this population. All right, so for the method section, um, design systematic review and meta-analysis using Prisma. For the search, a constructed electronic search was carried across six major databases: Web of Science, PubMed, ProQuest, Scopus, ScienceDirect, EBSCOhost. Search was performed between January 2000 and November 2024. The keywords used for this study were association, influencing factors, physical activity, psychological resilience in young students. For the inclusion criteria, included participants aged 12 to 25, measured psychological resilience, measured physical activity, performed quantitative analysis of the association, used cross-sectional or longitudinal designs, were peer-reviewed and published in English. For the data extraction, conducted by two independent reviewers, author/year, country, sample size, and characteristics, instruments used for PA and resilience, statistical methods, association indicators, disagreements were resolved by a third-party researcher. And then for the analysis, they used Stata 18 software. Effect sizes converted to Fisher-Z's pooled using random effects models. Heterogeneity assessed via I2 index. Publication bias tested with funnel plots and Edgar's test. Subgroup analysis conducted by age group, adolescents versus college students. Okay, so for the results section, the study selection, total of 21 studies included after a rigorous multi-step process. Studies examined associations between physical activity and psychological resilience. Pearson correlation studies, 14 Pearson correlation, 14 studies, multiple regression analysis, 13 studies, and structural equation modeling, 8 studies. Quality assessment rated 95% of studies as excellent and 5% as good using qual systems tools. Overall correlation studies, the meta-analysis revealed a significant positive correlation between physical activity and psychological resilience. Young students who engage in physical activity tend to inhibit higher levels of physical or psychological resilience, and every one standard deviation increase in physical activity levels, psychological resilience is expected to increase by an average of 0.195 standard deviation units. Increased physical activity levels correspond to an estimated 20.5% enhancement in psychological resilience. For subgroup analysis, conducted based on age, dividing participants into adolescents and college students. Subgroup showed a significant positive correlation between physical activity and psychological resilience. Combined effect size for adolescent groups was 0.302, 95% confidence interval 0.093 to 0.511. And for the college subgroup, 0.228 with a 95% confidence interval at 0.159 to 0.296. And then these are the forest plots that were used in the results section of the study. Okay, so for the conclusion, practical application, most important to least, is improve youth mental health through physical activity. So schools and universities and families should integrate structured physical activity to enhance psychological resilience and reduce anxiety and depression among young students based on the study's significant positive correlation between exercise and resilience. Number two is support resilience to maintain long-term physical activity. Programs that intentionally build confidence, coping strategies, and perseverance can help keep youth consistently active. The study notes that resilience also promotes physical activity participation. For number three, social and environmental support systems, increasing family encouragement, peer support, school sports culture, and faculty access or facility access enhances both activity levels and resilience. Social support moderates this relationship. For number four, target high-risk groups for prevention. Identify inactive youth as higher risk for negative mental health outcomes and intervene early through movement-based supports. Low activity links to negative emotion and stress vulnerability. For number five, influence policy and education reform. Create requirements for minimum weekly moderate to vigorous physical activity and expand school sports programs. Support nationwide decline in student activity levels. And for number six, the last one, improve measurement practices. Standardized assessment for physical activity and resilience to increase consistency and effectiveness of monitoring. High heterogeneity among included studies show variability in measures. To connect to other research phases, number one, discovery phase. It provides a quantitative confirmation that higher physical activity equals higher resilience. Synthesizes data from 21 studies to strengthen general ability across youth populations. Number two, mechanicism identification phase. How this study contributes. Shows bidirectional influence. Resilience also predicts ongoing participation in physical activity. Highlights that social support and environment moderate the relationship. Intervention development phase indicates physical activity can be evidence-based mental health intervention strategy for youth resilience. Implementation phase suggests environment and support systems are crucial for sustained benefits. And then policy and systems phase notes declining physical activity levels among students and emphasizes public health significance. All right, to continue with conclusion, strengths of the study is robust methodology. The study employed a systematic review and meta-analysis designed using PRISMA guidelines, ensuring rigor in study selection and transparency in reporting. A comprehensive search was conducted across 6 electronic databases. Study screening and data extraction were independently performed by 2 viewers. Quantitative synthesis used stat 18, including heterogeneity testing, effect size conversion to Fisher Z, and publication bias assessment via funnel plots and Edgar's test. Another strength is high quality of included literature. 95% of the 21 included studies were rated excellent, and 5% were rated good. The review included only studies with sample sizes greater than or equal to 100, increasing statistical power and stability of results. And the third one is significant and consistent evidence. The meta-analysis demonstrated a significant positive correlation between physical activity and psychological resilience in young students. Results support theoretical models proposing physical activity as a meaningful protective factor for youth psychological resilience. For the limitations of the study, geographical confrontation or concentration, most included studies were conducted in China and the United States, which may limit generalizability to youth from other cultures and socioeconomic contexts. Predominance of cross-sectional designs. Only one longitudinal study was included, therefore casual inferences cannot be firmly drawn regarding whether physical activities leads to increased resilience or vice versa. Self-reported measures. Physical activity and resilience were largely assessed through self-report questionnaires, introducing potential recall and response bias. High study heterogeneity. Substantial heterogeneity was found, particularly in adolescent subgroups stemming from measurement differences, sample size characteristics, and statistical methods. Publication bias risk. Funnel plot asymmetry and Edgar test indicated possible publication bias, suggesting studies with null findings may be underrepresented. All right, lastly, for the author's take, enhance geographical diversity, employ longitudinal study designs, increase consideration for moderating and influencing factors, develop and evaluate intervention studies, and refine measurement consistency. And then for personal take, use objective measurement methods, qualitative research approaches, explore specific populations and contexts, interdisciplinary collaborations, and policy and program evaluation.